Hey guys, I just thought I'd make a quick video and talk about the prayer beads that I made recently, because I posted a picture of these on Facebook when I finished them, but obviously most of you, most of my followers here on YouTube don't follow me on Facebook, so I thought I would share them here and maybe talk a little bit about how I plan on using them and things like that. So the prayer beads, they're Morrigan prayer beads. I don't really consider the Morrigan to be, I don't use the phrase matron deity, but to all intents and purposes that's what she is for me. She has a lot of the same associations for me, the same meaning and importance for me that a lot of pagans or Wiccans have for with a matron or patron deity. She's kind of been with me all the way along my pagan journey, all the way from when I was 14 or 15, so over 10 years ago. When I was first discovering paganism and discovering the idea of paganism. I wasn't even really aware that paganism or polytheism was actually really a thing. I was obviously aware that some religions like Hinduism had polytheism as part of their belief system, but from the very start, when I discovered this idea that you could actually come at the divine from a variety of different perspectives and that you could see the divine as having lots of different faces. I was always fascinated by the Morrigan as soon as I came across her. I had heard stories about her before I came across paganism, just in folklore, and I was fairly familiar with the Irish sagas, tales and sagas and that kind of thing. So I will actually make another video on the Morrigan. I think I'm going to do that fairly soon, maybe in the new year. Because I made quite a long blog post on her a couple of months ago on my blog, but I haven't actually talked about her at all here on the channel. So the prayer beads that I made, now these have been a long time in the making. I got the materials to make these a good few months ago, and I kind of never got around to it until quite recently. It consists of, it has these little, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, and the camera won't focus when I bring it up close. I'll show you a closer shot actually at the end. These white beads are a little skull, they're howlite, they're little skull beads, and there's a slightly larger one down at the bottom. The smaller dark beads are obsidian, they're rainbow obsidian actually. I went for rainbow obsidian over pure black obsidian because I liked the kind of effect of them that they kind of remind me of raven feathers or even raven eyes. I definitely liked that rather than having the pure black. And then the slightly larger dark beads are garnet. So as you can see, there's sort of several rounds of the seven, I don't know if you can see that at all, 7 beads of the obsidian, and then a howlite skull, and then 3 garnet, and it kind of goes around like that. And then at the bottom I have little little charms. There's a feather at the back there, and yeah, I don't know if you can see that. Like I said, I'll show you again, and an arrowhead. I had the idea of making prayer beads for a really long time actually. The idea just kind of popped into my head. I think I had a dream about rosary beads. I went through a phase of dreaming about rosary beads quite a lot, which was really strange for me because rosary beads were never something I really got on board with, even when I considered myself to be Catholic. I did have a set, which unfortunately I think I got rid of. And I just started, for some reason they just started popping up for me, mostly in dreams. And then it was around the time actually then, just after that, Kellyanne made a video on her religious jewellery. And she was talking about her rosary beads, and I was like, oh wow, what a coincidence, that's really strange. And I had literally the night before had another dream about rosary beads. It kind of got me thinking about it, and then I think around the time that I decided I was going to go ahead and make myself some prayer beads, Joey, I can't remember what her YouTube channel name actually is, Joey Morris, maybe just Joey Morris. She made a few videos about, or maybe it was just the first set I think that she made, I think it was Morrigan prayer beads that she started off with. And that just kind of, finally just pushed me towards actually getting around to doing it. So something like this was always kind of what I had in mind. I wanted something that was in some way similar to rosary beads, but obviously not with the exact same kind of feel to it. Something more I liked the idea of using kind of cord and knotting it in between the beads rather than using metal. I'm definitely considering making more of these and selling them on Etsy at some point. I went through a phase of making jewellery and trying to sell it on Etsy at one point, but I never really committed to it. Like, I kind of got the shop up and going and I sold a few things, but I got a bit bored with it. But I am thinking of setting up an Etsy shop and selling various different things on it. So I really enjoy making these prayer beads, so I think I might actually sell some at some point. The first ones I actually started making weren't these Morrigan ones. I bought a bunch of beads and I started making Carnunas, beads for Carnunas, which are, oh gosh, I can't remember. They're jasper, I believe. They're Picasso jasper, something like that. They're a really beautiful kind of jasper, which again, maybe I'll show you towards the end, and some of the garnet stones in there as well. And I did it more similar to the rosary with the bit hanging down at the bottom and then the charm at the end, which I haven't cut the string off yet because I haven't finished with them yet. I wasn't completely satisfied with these ones though, but when I finally got around to making the Morrigan ones, I kind of held off making the Morrigan ones because they were very definitely going to be for me and going to be quite personal, so I kind of held off. You know, that kind of way, I wanted to mess around with it a bit at first and get it right before I made them. So I haven't really used them a huge amount yet because I haven't quite figured out the best way for me to use them and whatever. But so far what I've been doing is just sitting down and whatever phrase comes to mind, I will kind of repeat a short mantra with the smaller beads, of which there are 7 in a row. I'll kind of repeat a shorter mantra, and then when it comes around to the garnet stones, I will repeat a slightly longer mantra, and so far I've just been mixing it up and just saying whatever comes to mind and then repeating that as much as I can remember it anyway as I go through. It's kind of been a meditation tool for me and something to do within ritual. And also because I haven't been connecting with the Morrigan that much recently, and I kind of felt like I wanted to do something more overt to kind of get back in touch with her and her whole energy. I think in the future I definitely want to have quite a couple of different prayer beads for different deities that I'm interested in working with. I'm in the process of making some Gaia prayer beads, and I think I'm going to order some more and make a couple of more as well. Ganesha, I definitely want to make prayer beads for him, but I haven't decided what stones I want to use. Probably aventurine, but apart from that I haven't, like, you know, it's kind of one of those things for me, I think, with the prayer beads so far that I haven't made any except when the mood really strikes me, and I think I quite like doing it that way because they've actually, I mean, the Morrigan prayer beads that I've made, these ones, they're not in any way like my original conception of them. I had a very different idea of what they were going to be like when I was buying the beads initially. But then once I started doing it, it just all kind of fit together and I knew exactly what I wanted to do. So I'd rather do it that way with the other ones as well. But yeah, I just wanted to share them with you. I'll show them to you now in a close-up. Yeah, I just kind of felt like showing them off and just yeah, giving you an idea of how you might use prayer beads, how you might make them, and how you might have them, you know, for specific deities. I can't remember if I had decided to do that, whether or not I decided to do that before I saw Joey Morris's video, so I should probably say that, because at this point I'm not altogether sure. You know that way when you're not sure if you had the idea simultaneously or if I actually got it from her. If I did get that idea from her, I really definitely want to make that very clear. And you should definitely check out her videos if you're not familiar with her. She sells various candles and prayer beads and stuff on her website, so I'll link her below, her channel at least, and probably her shop below. So yeah, I just basically wanted to show them off because I'm really pleased with them, and they're one of the first kind of crafty kind of things, projects that I've done to do with my spiritual path kind of this time around. So here's a closer shot. You can probably see them a lot better now. I don't think you can really make out the colours of the obsidian beads, unfortunately, because they're really rather beautiful. Some of them really have very beautiful greens and browns and blues and stuff through them. And then there's those are the Carnunas beads, which, like I said, I'm not completely happy with, which is why I'm not, I haven't finished them yet. I'm probably going to go back to them and change them a bit. Hope you enjoyed that. Much love, guys.